Hi everyone and welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about North Wales. I'll be sharing with you guys the best things to do in this beautiful part of the UK, from the best hikes in the region to adventurous activities like the world's fastest zipline. So watch till the end for the perfect 5-day itinerary to explore the best parts of North Wales. On our first day, we drove to North Wales from London to reach our first stop, Parys Mountain. This used to be one of the biggest copper mines in the UK, and now it looks like something straight out of Mars. It's truly so difficult to believe that you're in Wales. The rocks are beautiful colours of red, orange, pink and yellow, and it truly has to be seen to be believed. Here, you can just do a short loop walk which takes you up to the mine shaft you can see in the distance. Spend a bit of time here exploring the top of Parys Mountain and admiring the view of the surrounding green countryside, which contrasts with the copper colour of Parys Mountain. You can then head back towards the car park. From here, we drove to South Stack Cliffs in Holyhead. From the car park, walk a few steps down to the left of the cafe, and from here, you'll get a pretty good view of South Stack Lighthouse. Once you're done here, take the stairs to reach the road once again, following it to reach the steps that lead down to the lighthouse. Entrance to the lighthouse closes at 4:30, so we couldn't go inside as we were too late, so bear this in mind. You can go halfway down the stairs though. When you climb back up, turn left to take the path that will take you to North Stacks. The route is clearly shown on the map, which you can get for free at the visitor centre if you ask, so be sure to do that. When you reach North Stacks, you will see the town of Holyhead in front of you, and you need to go a long way downhill to reach the actual lighthouse. To go back to the car park, you can either retrace your steps or choose another path on the map, which is what we did, to make your walk a circular loop. You will be back at the car park in no time, from where we drove to our Airbnb and ended our first day in Wales. Day 2 was no doubt going to be the most exciting day of our trip to Wales. Today was the day that we would head to Zipworld and Penrhyn quarry to experience the world's fastest zipline, which reaches speeds of 100 miles per hour and is over a mile long. The first thing we did when we got there was head into the visitor centre to check in. We still had a lot of time before our time slot, so we decided to head back outside to watch other people go on the zipline. Tickets for the zipline start from £92, but we paid £120 as we went during high season in the summer. They also have another activity, which is this zip coaster called the Aero Coaster, and it also looked fun. Before we knew it, it was our turn to go on the zipline. You'll be asked to sit down in this room while they go through a quick safety briefing before they get you into your harness for the zipline. Next, you'll be taken on the small zipline, where you get a chance to get used to the harness and experience what it will feel like. This small one only travels at about 30 miles per hour. Then you will be taken up to the top of the mountain in one of these trucks. When you reach the top for the big zipline, the views are beautiful. And at this point, I could feel the nerves start to set in as we watched people from the previous group go on the zipline. You will be given helmets with cameras and asked to wait on the white dots. You can buy the video footage from the camera at the visitor centre for £20. it was our turn to go next. The zipline was so much fun. The views are beautiful and it truly feels like you're flying. The zipline lasts about a minute, but it feels way too short. As soon as it ends, you'll want to do it all over again. Once you've landed back on the ground, it's time to walk back to the visitor centre to take off your harness. After that adventure, our next stop of the day was something more relaxing. We headed to Aber Falls, a nearby waterfall. The car park here costs £5 for all-day parking, and the walk from here to the waterfall is just about 20 to 30 minutes. Soon, you'll be able to see the waterfall in front of you. As you get closer to the waterfall, you'll be able to see how big and powerful it is. We crossed over the bridge to the other side, where you can get even closer to it. We then followed the path leading away from Aber Falls, where soon you will come across another waterfall. Continue following the path in this direction, and it's quite easy to follow it as it curves around to point in the direction of where you started the walk from. You can of course head straight back to the car park the way you came, but we took this path to make it a circular walk. I'll put the link to this loop in the description box. It is slightly uphill, but the views back in the direction of Aber Falls are worth it. As you walk further, you'll also be greeted by views of the sea in front of you. Here, we took the marked path to the right, which goes downhill and joins the road leading to the car park, which you can follow all the way to your car, which brings us to the end of day 2 in North Wales. There are many different hikes you can do in North Wales, but during our time here, we did 2 of them. On our 3rd day, we chose to do the Nantal Ridge hike. Again, I'll put the link to this hike in the description box. It's worth mentioning that the most popular hike in the region is the Mount Snowdon hike, the tallest mountain in Wales, but we did not hike it this time round as we had already done it. The Nantal Ridge walk begins with an initial climb, where the path is easy to follow, and eventually we began to enter the clouds. Once you reach the top of the initial climb, you'll be able to see the rest of Nantal Ridge in front of you. At first, the ridge looks very daunting, but it isn't as difficult as it looks, although there are quite a few challenging parts. The views were a welcome distraction though, and I imagine on a clear day they would be even better. Eventually, we were fully in the clouds, which did make it a bit more scary. The path was difficult to find at times, but we decided to just continue going uphill, finding the easiest route possible. It also helps to check every now and then if you're on track on the All Trails app, to prevent getting lost. When you reach the top of the ridge, the path is flatter and the ridge becomes wider. If you follow the map on All Trails, it's very easy to navigate and you won't get lost. As we descended, we were able to see more views of the surrounding valley. On your descent, you'll pass through a wooded area before you cross over a small stream. You will then be able to see the car park where you started the hike in the distance. After our hike, we drove to the small village of beddgelert. We grabbed an ice cream at the shop here, before we explored the village. The village isn't very big, and we spent most of our time just walking by the river for a calming end to our third day. On our fourth day, we decided to do another hike, this time the Devil's Kitchen hike. The car park here gets really full as this is quite a popular walk, so make sure to get here early. We couldn't find a spot to park in the car park, so we had to park about 1 kilometre down the road and walk to the trailhead. The path to the lake at the bottom of Devil's Kitchen is relatively flat, and you'll see lots of people making their way to the lake. When you get there, you want to turn left to follow the path that circles around the lake clockwise. Eventually, the path will turn left to take you uphill to get to the top of Devil's Kitchen. I don't have a lot of footage of this as it was quite a difficult climb and I didn't record much, but if you're careful and try to find the easiest route up, it is doable. When you reach the top, you will be able to see the summit of the mountain you're trying to climb, Waigan. The path to the top is relatively obvious, and there are cairns to guide you in bad weather. When we got to the summit, we weren't lucky enough to see any views as the clouds had covered the peak. The clouds began to clear a bit as we descended, and we could see views of the surrounding peaks and the lake. After descending for about 50 minutes, we reached the lake again, from where we walked back to our car and ended our last full day in Wales. On our last day in Wales, we went to Llangollen. We walked around the town for a bit before we crossed over the canal to walk over to Castle Dinas Bran, which overlooks the town. The path to get there is uphill, but it's nothing difficult and it only takes half an hour. From the top, you can see the town as well as some beautiful surrounding scenery. Our last stop in Wales was along the Llangollen Canal. Here you can see people kayaking, and there's also a chain bridge to cross over, where you get a nice view of the river. With this, we began our drive back to London, ending our time in Wales. I hope the information in this video helped you plan your own trip to Wales, and if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, and it would also mean so much if you hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.